What if the one thing keeping you from your dreams isn't luck, hard work, or fate, but a hidden doorway inside your own mind, a doorway whispered about in secret circles for centuries? Step closer, for within lies the forbidden method. Since the dawn of human thought, seekers have searched for the elusive key that bends reality to their will. Mystics, sages, and hidden orders spoke of a secret so powerful it was concealed from ordinary eyes, guarded as fiercely as fire in the night. They called it many names, but at its core was one unshakable truth. The subconscious mind does not follow, it commands. This book unveils what has been forbidden, not because it is dark, but because it is so potent that those unprepared could misuse it. You are about to discover a method that does not ask your subconscious to create, it forces it to obey. The line between thought and reality, between dream and existence, will blur until you recognize what you truly are, the architect of worlds. Your subconscious is vast, ancient, and impartial. It responds to impressions with relentless precision, shaping your reality whether you realize it or not. Most people stumble through life unaware they are programming it with fear, doubt, and limitation. But when you apply the forbidden method, you seize the reins of creation itself. Prepare yourself. This is not gentle suggestion or passive affirmation. This is the art of imprinting with fire. The forbidden path demands clarity, courage, and trust in your infinite potential. Step with reverence, for each word you plant will bloom. Each vision you weave will unfold. What follows are practices, rituals, and inner technologies that awaken the hidden machinery of your subconscious. The veil will thin, resistance will dissolve, and manifestation will no longer be a mystery. It will be law. Welcome to the initiation. Chapter 1: The Hidden Gate. Why the Method Was Forbidden. There are truths so powerful, so unyielding in their ability to transform reality, that those who first discovered them chose silence over revelation. Not because they wished to hoard the power, but because they feared what would happen if it fell into the wrong hands. The forbidden method was not designed for idle curiosity or the reckless heart. It was entrusted only to initiates who had proven their discipline, because with a single wrong imprint, the subconscious can manifest destruction as easily as creation. The ancient sages knew what modern seekers forget. The subconscious mind is not a gentle servant. It is a loyal but impartial force, responding without hesitation to the impressions it receives. To most, this knowledge is terrifying. Imagine a field so fertile that any seed thrown upon it would grow, no matter whether it bore fruit or poison. This is your subconscious, and this is why the knowledge was guarded as a sacred secret. For the untrained, fear plants weeds faster than faith sows flowers. When the method first appeared, it was hidden within symbols, myths, and allegories. The Egyptian mystery schools spoke of the dark chamber of creation, where initiates would be left alone in silence, forced to confront the patterns of their own mind. In the East, monks encoded the principles into chants that seemed simple to outsiders, but concealed the precise rhythm and tone needed to bypass resistance. In Europe, alchemists cloaked the teachings under tales of transmutation, led to gold, ignorance to mastery. Across cultures, the same secret pulsed beneath different masks. Your subconscious can be commanded, and reality will bow. But here is the danger. The subconscious does not discriminate between blessing and curse. If you obsess over scarcity, it multiplies. If you dwell on betrayal, you summon it again and again. The subconscious does not ask whether a command is good or bad. It only asks whether you delivered it with conviction. This is why the method was forbidden. To those who lived in fear, it could amplify chaos. To those consumed by greed, it could wreak devastation. But to the awakened, it was the master key. You may wonder why, if this truth is so absolute, Humanity still struggles. Why do millions toil in lack, sorrow, and limitation? The answer is simple. Because the method was hidden, locked away, whispered only to a few. Society itself was built to keep individuals asleep. Lulled by repetition and distraction, the masses were taught to request politely from life, never to command. They were taught to pray for mercy rather than claim their divinity. This was not an accident, it was by design, for a people who know their subconscious power cannot be enslaved, and yet the time has come for the hidden gate to open. The tides of consciousness shift, the veils of secrecy thin. What was once forbidden must now be revealed, because the world is awakening, and more souls are ready to wield this knowledge with responsibility. You who hold this book are among them. It is not chance that brought you here. The moment your eyes fall upon these words, your initiation begins. The gate is not outside you. It is not in ancient temples or long-lost scrolls. The gate has always been within your own mind, waiting for you to recognize it. Each night, as you drift toward sleep, each moment when your thoughts soften, you stand before it. Each desire you hold with unwavering focus pushes against its doors, and when you learn to step through, you will find a chamber vast as the cosmos itself, a chamber where anything you plant must grow. This is why it was forbidden, because once you know, you cannot unknow. Once you realize that your every thought is an order written in the language of creation, you carry a responsibility that cannot be abandoned. You will either live as the conscious commander of your destiny or as the unconscious slave of your fears. The choice is yours, and it begins now. Step through the hidden gate. Chapter 2. The Subconscious as Supreme Architect. If the conscious mind is the flicker of a candle in the wind, the subconscious is the sun itself, vast, blazing, and eternal. It is the invisible architect behind every detail of your life, drafting blueprints and laying foundations without your awareness. Every experience you live is not the result of chance or external decree, but the precise construction of this inner architect. To ignore it is to live in a house you never designed, wandering its rooms confused, wondering why its walls confine you. To master it is to sit with the builder and shape the mansion of your destiny. The subconscious is not limited by time. It stores every memory you have ever lived, every impression you have ever absorbed, not in dusty archives, but in living currents that still flow through you. That childhood word of rejection, it still echoes in your patterns of self-doubt. That fleeting vision of possibility, it still hums in your sense of destiny. The subconscious misses nothing, and because it misses nothing, it builds with everything. This is why so many people feel trapped, because their subconscious is constructing with materials they never consciously chose. Consider this truth. Your body itself is evidence of the subconscious at work. Your heart beats without command. Your lungs draw air without thought. Your cells repair and regenerate without conscious effort. The subconscious oversees not just your biology, but your destiny with the same unyielding loyalty. If it sustains the miracle of your life, do you doubt it can also summon wealth, love, and power? The subconscious is already building. What matters is what you hand it to build with. The ancients described the subconscious as a servant more faithful than any soldier, more tireless than any laborer. But this servant is also an architect. It does not merely follow orders. It designs entire realities based on the tone of your inner world. Feed it fear, and it drafts blueprints of failure. Feed it love, and it sketches pathways of abundance. The key is not in asking politely, but in commanding with certainty. For the subconscious does not debate, it obeys. Yet here lies the paradox. Most people do not speak to their subconscious directly. They mutter doubts, replay regrets, and entertain fears, not realizing that every inner dialogue is received as instruction. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It takes all impressions as truth. If you visualize defeat, it begins constructing it. If you rehearse despair, it lays the foundation. The supreme architect does not pause to question your wisdom. It simply fulfills the blueprint it has been given. This is why the forbidden method is unlike any other practice. It is not about gently suggesting to the subconscious. It is about delivering commands with such precision and power that the architect has no choice but to obey. It is about aligning your words, your visions, and your emotions into a single undeniable decree. When you do this, your subconscious unleashes forces that ripple through time and matter, bending the external world into alignment with your command. Think of the subconscious as a river vast and unstoppable. Left unguided, it carves random paths, flooding valleys and eroding cliffs. But when directed by a clear channel, it turns wheels, nourishes fields, and powers entire civilizations. Your role is not to fight the river, but to guide its flow. The forbidden method gives you the tools to carve those channels with clarity, ensuring the current moves toward your chosen destiny rather than away from it. You may already have glimpsed its power, a fleeting thought followed by a coincidence, a vision in a dream later unfolding in your life, a sudden knowing that proved true. These are the whispers of the architect, offering you evidence of its reach. The time has come to move beyond whispers and into command. The subconscious is supreme because it does not rest. While you sleep, it works. While you worry, it answers. While you wonder, it arranges. It is the silent conductor of synchronicities, the invisible hand moving pieces into place. And now, with reverence and certainty, you are ready to partner with this supreme architect, not as a beggar, not as a child in the dark, but as the conscious master who dares to build the reality of your choosing. The architect awaits your next command. Chapter 3: Breaking the Chains of Ordinary Thinking. Every cage that holds humanity is invisible. It is built not of iron, but of ideas. From the moment you could walk, you were taught to see the world through a narrow lens. That reality is fixed. That possibility is scarce. That destiny belongs to the few. These chains are forged in classrooms, reinforced in families, whispered in stories, and carved into cultures until you mistake them for truth. But they are not truth. They are agreements, invisible contracts you never signed, yet carry as though they were carved into your bones. Ordinary thinking tells you that life is linear, that effort alone brings reward, that the future is written by external hands. Ordinary thinking trains you to ask for permission, to wait for approval, to accept the crumbs while others feast. It tells you to play small because greatness is dangerous. It teaches you to conform because uniqueness is rebellion. Ordinary thinking is the greatest prison, and most never realize they are its captives. The subconscious, however, does not live in these small rooms. It is infinite, expansive, unbound. Yet it cannot create beyond the walls you accept. When you live under the chains of ordinary thinking, you command your subconscious to obey those limits. You say to it, "I am not worthy of wealth. I cannot achieve love. I must work endlessly to survive." And the subconscious, loyal and unyielding, builds realities that match your belief. It is not your enemy. It is your servant, following the flawed blueprints you allow into its hands. Breaking free begins with recognition. You must see the chains to shatter them. Begin to notice where you have accepted limitation as law. Question the beliefs you repeat without proof. Ask yourself, who told me this was true? What authority declared my limits? And why have I believed them? The moment you question, the spell weakens. The subconscious does not cling to lies, it only reflects the images impressed upon it. Change the image, and the reflection must change. The ancients practiced this art of questioning as ritual. They would sit in silence, writing down every belief that felt heavy, every thought that felt confining. One by one, they would burn them in fire, declaring, "This is no longer mine." For the subconscious responds not only to words, but to symbolism. The act of release tells the deeper mind, these chains are broken. This ritual is not superstition. It is psychology hidden in sacred ceremony. But freedom is not only about release, it is about replacement. For the subconscious abhors emptiness. If you remove a limiting belief and leave the space vacant, it will reach for the nearest substitute, often falling back into the same patterns. Instead, you must plant a new seed immediately. Replace "I must struggle" with "Life supports me effortlessly." Replace "I am unworthy" with "I am the source of infinite worth." Replace "I am powerless" with "I command creation through thought." Do this with conviction, and your subconscious will obey. To live without ordinary thinking is to live in possibility. Imagine a life where the boundaries you have known vanish. Imagine stepping into a world where wealth is not rare but natural, where love is not fragile but infinite, where health is not fleeting but radiant. This world is not fantasy. It is the blueprint waiting beneath your conditioned mind. When you command your subconscious with new beliefs, reality bends to meet them. Every empire of greatness began with one soul who refused to think ordinarily. They dared to believe in a possibility others could not see. They dared to speak words others thought madness. They broke the chains, and the subconscious responded by aligning reality with their vision. You stand now at the same threshold. The chains are heavy, but they are not unbreakable. One thought of power can shatter centuries of conditioning. One act of courage can unravel lifetimes of limitation. Break the chains, and the forbidden method will move through you with unrestrained power. For the subconscious does not question whether your command is possible. It only builds. The only question is whether you will dare to give the order. Chapter 4. The Power of Command versus the Weakness of Request. There is a vast difference between a whisper and a decree, between hoping and knowing, between asking for what you desire and commanding it into existence. Most live their lives in the weakness of request. They pray timidly, speak hesitantly, and visualize half-heartedly, all the while trembling with doubt. They ask the universe as though it were a reluctant parent, begging for scraps of attention. They hope their subconscious might listen, yet in the same breath contradict their request with disbelief. Such weakness bears little fruit. The subconscious does not respond to hesitation. It does not move for a whisper. It bends only for command. Command is not arrogance. It is authority. It is the recognition that you are not separate from the universe, but are its very extension. To command is to speak from the throne of your true self, knowing that your words are not empty sounds, but the blueprints of creation. Think of a king upon his throne. Does he request his guard to act? Does he beg his court to obey? Number. He commands and the world rearranges. The subconscious is your kingdom. Every word you speak inwardly becomes law. Every image you hold becomes decree. When you approach your subconscious as a beggar, you receive little. When you approach as sovereign, all bends to your will. The weakness of request shows itself in language. I hope I can succeed. I wish this would happen. I want this to be true. Each word drips with uncertainty, telling the subconscious, perhaps this is not possible. The architect obeys, constructing more hesitation, more waiting, more lack. But the language of command is different. It is done. I am this. I create this now. These words carry the vibration of certainty. The subconscious hears them not as wish, but as reality, and immediately begins to align the outer world to match. Emotion seals the command. Words alone may falter, but when charged with deep feeling, they burn themselves into the subconscious. Imagine telling a soldier to march without passion. It may move slowly, doubting its orders. But when the command is shouted with fire, with absolute certainty, the army rushes forward with unstoppable force. So it is with your subconscious. When you issue commands backed by emotion, joy, gratitude, confidence, it obeys with unmatched speed. The ancients guarded this truth carefully. In temples and secret schools, initiates were trained to strip weakness from their speech. They practiced speaking only in declarations, never in doubt. They were taught to embody the feeling of certainty, to know that what they declared was already true. This training was not superstition, it was the refinement of the art of command. Those who mastered it wielded power that could move mountains, for their subconscious knew no resistance. Consider your own life. How often have you approached your desires with the language of weakness? How often have you asked them timidly, "Will this ever happen for me?" And how often did your world answer with silence? Now contrast this with the few moments you have spoken with absolute certainty, even unknowingly. Remember the times you said, "I will do this. I know this will happen," and watch how life rearranged itself to make it so. Those were not coincidences. They were proof of the subconscious responding to the power of command. The forbidden method begins with this recognition. Your subconscious is not moved by begging. It is compelled by authority. It is not swayed by doubt, but by conviction. To master the method, you must train your language, your thoughts, and your emotions to align with the tone of command. Every statement must be spoken as though it were already true. Every vision must be seen as though it has already unfolded. Every feeling must be charged with certainty. When you learn this art, the weakness of request vanishes. You no longer hope, you know. You no longer wait, you declare. And in the silence of your sleep, in the stillness of your subconscious, reality begins to bend, not slowly, not reluctantly, but with the obedience of law. Command, and it shall be done. Chapter 5. The Ritual of Imprinting Through Emotion. The subconscious does not understand logic. It does not weigh arguments, nor does it respond to reason. What it obeys is emotion, the pure fire of feeling that burns deeper than words. If thought is the seed, emotion is the water and sunlight that brings it to life. Without emotion, a thought is sterile, drifting like dust in the wind. But when charged with emotion, even a single thought becomes a decree that etches itself into the fabric of your subconscious, and from there into the world you call reality. This is why so many affirmations fail. People repeat words mechanically, hollow and cold, without the pulse of genuine feeling. They chant, "I am abundant," while their chest trembles with fear, while their mind echoes scarcity. The subconscious does not hear the words, it hears the vibration behind them. It listens not to your tongue, but to your heart. Empty affirmations are like striking flint without tinder. There is spark, but no flame. Emotion is the flame. When you feel, truly feel, the subconscious bends. Joy, gratitude, love, these are the most potent fuels, for they vibrate in harmony with creation itself. Fear, anger, despair, they too are powerful, but left unchecked. They instruct the subconscious to manifest destruction. This is why discipline is essential. To imprint through emotion, you must first learn to command your own inner state. You must learn to summon joy at will, gratitude on command, love like a fountain pouring without end. The ancients practiced emotional alchemy. They would close their eyes and recall a single moment of pure joy, a child's laughter, the embrace of a loved one, the triumph of victory. They would breathe into that memory until their entire body trembled with the sensation. Then, in that elevated state, they would speak their command, imprinting it directly onto the subconscious. The emotion acted as the key, opening the inner vault, where suggestion becomes law. You can do the same. Tonight, before sleep, summon gratitude. Think of 3 blessings in your life, no matter how small. Let the warmth of appreciation spread through your chest. Feel it expand until it colors your entire being. Then, while immersed in that state, speak your desire as though it were already true. Not timidly, not weakly, but with conviction. The subconscious will hear not the words alone, but the emotional resonance, and it will obey. This is the ritual of imprinting through emotion. First, prepare the vessel. Breathe deeply, quiet your mind, and soften your body. Create the inner space where emotion can flow unhindered. Second, ignite the flame. Recall or imagine a moment that stirs powerful positive feeling. Let it build until it feels undeniable, until your chest hums with energy, until your skin tingles with its vibration. Third, deliver the command. Speak your desire in the present tense. Feel it as real. See it as complete. Allow the emotion to fuse with the words, creating a living command that penetrates the subconscious. Fourth, surrender. Release the thought to the subconscious, trusting that the work is already done. Do not grasp. Do not beg. Simply rest in the knowing that the imprint has been made. When you master this ritual, you will discover that manifestation is not a matter of effort, but of frequency. You are not forcing reality to bend. It bends because you align with the emotional vibration that compels it. Each night, each ritual is a brushstroke upon the canvas of your subconscious, and soon the picture you have painted with feeling will unfold before your waking eyes. Chapter 6. The language your subconscious cannot resist. Words are spells. Each carries vibration, each carries power, but not all words strike the subconscious with equal force. Most language drifts across the surface of the mind, fragile and fleeting, but some words bypass the barriers, sinking straight pull into the depths where the subconscious listens with rapt attention. To command your subconscious, you must learn this language, the sacred vocabulary it cannot resist. Consider the difference between I will be and I am. The first places your desire always in the future, a horizon you will never reach. The second plants it firmly in the present, declaring it as already real. The subconscious only operates in the now. It does not understand someday. It only understands what you declare as truth in this moment. That is why the phrase I am is among the most powerful incantations you can utter. When you say I am abundant, you are not requesting, you are instructing, and the subconscious must obey. Equally irresistible are words of certainty. It is done, it is complete, it is mine. These statements carry no hesitation, no question, no doubt. The subconscious does not debate them, it accepts them as fact and begins to rearrange reality accordingly. Compare this to weak words, I hope, I wish, I want. Such phrases carry the vibration of lack, telling the subconscious that the thing desired is absent, and so it remains absent. Emotion gives words their power, but the structure of language directs their aim. Speak in present tense, speak with clarity, speak with conviction. The subconscious cannot resist commands spoken as truths. There are also sounds, vibrations that transcend meaning. Ancient chants, mantras, and tones resonate directly with the subconscious, bypassing thought. Repetition of these sacred sounds imprints patterns beyond logic, harmonizing the subconscious with the rhythm of creation. This is why across cultures, from Sanskrit mantras to Gregorian chants, sacred sound has been used to program the inner mind. The subconscious listens not only to meaning, but to rhythm, tone, and resonance. Your nightly practice is to refine your language. Eliminate hesitation from your words. Remove the poison of maybe and if. Replace them with declarations. Train your speech to reflect certainty. Let your inner dialogue mirror the reality you wish to live. Each word you speak within becomes a command written into the subconscious blueprint. To test this, observe your thoughts tomorrow. Notice how often you say, I can't, I'm tired, I'll never. Each is a spell cast against your own desire. Each instructs your subconscious to manifest struggle, fatigue, failure. Now replace them deliberately. Say, I am capable. I am energized. I am victorious. Repeat until the words no longer feel like effort, but like truth. The subconscious cannot resist the steady drumbeat of certainty. The ancients knew this language and guarded it. They called it the divine word, the logos, the sacred utterance. It was whispered in temples and carved into stone, for they understood that creation itself began with a word. And still today, your creation begins with the words you choose. When you align emotion with language, you wield the irresistible key. The subconscious does not resist. It accepts, it obeys, it manifests. Your words become flesh, your declarations become destiny. Every time you speak, you are programming your reality. Do not waste words, do not squander spells. Speak as sovereign, and the subconscious will bend the world to your command. Chapter 7. Entering the Theta Threshold. Between wakefulness and deep sleep lies a sacred doorway known to mystics and confirmed by science, the Theta Threshold. In this liminal state, your brain waves slow, the chatter of conscious thought dissolves, and the subconscious opens like fertile earth awaiting seed. Children dwell here naturally, which is why their minds absorb so quickly, their imaginations so vivid, their worlds so malleable. Adults forget this gateway, drowning in endless thought, but the threshold remains, waiting each night for those who dare to enter with awareness. Theta is the state where suggestion becomes law. Ordinary affirmations repeated in the noise of daily thought may falter, but when whispered in theta, they pierce directly into the subconscious. Here, resistance is absent. Doubt cannot survive. Your mind is pliable, ready to receive. This is why prayers at night, lullabies sung before slumber, and whispered intentions before drifting off have always carried mystical power. The ancients knew the threshold well. They guarded it through chants, drumming, and rituals that slowed the mind until the gates opened. To enter theta consciously, you must relax the body deeply while holding the mind in gentle focus. Breathe slowly, feeling each inhale descend deeper into your being. Release every tension, every concern, until your body feels heavy and your mind light. Then, when you sense that delicate veil between thought and dream, speak your desire, see it, feel it, let it imprint as though it is already true. Practiced consistently, this nightly descent into theta becomes the most powerful tool of the forbidden method. For in this state, what you declare is not suggestion, it is command. Your subconscious, wide open, accepts the imprint without argument and begins its work of weaving reality accordingly. Step into this threshold with reverence, for here your words carry the weight of worlds. Chapter 8. The Mirror of Forbidden Affirmations. The mirror is more than glass. It is a portal, a surface that reflects not only your face, but your essence. For most, it is a place of judgment, where flaws are magnified and doubts whispered. But for the initiate of the forbidden method, the mirror becomes an altar. It becomes the stage upon which you imprint the deepest commands into your subconscious, using words so potent they bypass all resistance. These are the forbidden affirmations, statements crafted not as hopes, not as wishes, but as laws. Ordinary affirmations lack weight. They are spoken casually, repeated mechanically, often while the heart trembles with disbelief. I am wealthy, someone says, while inwardly they feel poor. The subconscious hears the contradiction and obeys the feeling, not the words. But forbidden affirmations cut through this conflict. They are designed to seize the subconscious with authority, commanding it to accept reality as already changed. When spoken into the mirror, they double their power, For the subconscious is forced to confront not only the words, but the image of the self declaring them. The ritual is simple, but it must be approached with reverence. Stand before the mirror in quiet solitude. Light a single candle if you wish, for flame focuses the mind. Look directly into your own eyes. Do not glance away. Do not allow your gaze to wander. Stare into the windows of your soul until the surface dissolves and you feel you are speaking to something infinite within. Then, and only then, speak your affirmations. Speak them slowly, with intensity, as though carving them into stone. I am the source of abundance. It is done. My reality obeys my command. These are not requests. They are declarations. Speak them with emotion. Feel the vibration of each word as though the air itself shifts under your voice. Watch your own face as you say them and notice how the subconscious begins to accept this new identity because it sees its reflection embodying it. The mirror makes the lie impossible. When you say, I am powerful, and you look into your own eyes, the subconscious has no choice but to reconcile what it hears with what it sees. Over time, it accepts the statement as undeniable truth. The ancients knew the mirror's power. In hidden chambers, initiates would be placed before polished stone, instructed to repeat declarations until their voices shook the walls. They called this the ritual of reflected word, believing the mirror to be a gate to the subconscious. What they discovered is what modern seekers overlook. The subconscious cannot resist what is repeated with unbroken focus and mirrored reflection. It must conform. It must obey. Yet this practice comes with a warning. Speak only what you truly wish to create. The mirror amplifies all, both light and shadow. If you declare yourself cursed, weak, or broken, the subconscious will obey that too. The mirror does not judge. It reflects. This is why the forbidden affirmations are sacred, why they were guarded. They are tools of immense creative power, and with them, you shape not only your inner self, but the outer world that mirrors it back to you. Commit to the practice. Each night before sleep, each morning before you step into the world, stand before the mirror and declare. Make it ritual, not routine. Speak until the words feel alive, until your body tingles with their energy, until your reflection stares back at you with a knowing that cannot be denied. Over time, you will watch your reality bend to match the declarations you once whispered. What began as words will become truth, for the subconscious will build no other world than the one it has been commanded to accept. The mirror is no longer glass. It is a throne. Stand before it as sovereign and speak as master, for the subconscious listens most intently when you speak to yourself, face to face, soul to soul. Chapter 9, The Pulse of Visualization, Seeing as Command. There is a secret woven into the act of seeing that most overlook. The eyes of your imagination hold greater power than the eyes in your head. What you see with closed lids, what you construct in the darkness of your mind, becomes the blueprint from which your subconscious builds. Visualization is not a child's daydream, not an idle escape from reality. It is a command written in images. And when performed with intensity and precision, it pulses through your subconscious like an order issued to an army that cannot disobey. Most people, when they visualize, do so weakly. They picture fleeting shapes, hazy outcomes, images unanchored by emotion. They say they want wealth, but they do not see themselves holding the key to a new home. They say they want love, but they do not picture the warmth of an embrace. They say they want freedom, but they do not see their hands open, unshackled from labor. Their images are vague, their signals weak, and so their subconscious receives no clear command. A blurred vision creates a blurred reality. To truly visualize is to create with all senses engaged. It is to see, hear, feel, even smell and taste the reality as though it already surrounds you. The subconscious cannot distinguish between imagination and memory. If you see yourself walking through your new life with enough detail and emotion, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once accepted, it becomes law. Begin simply. Choose one desire and craft its vision in exquisite detail. If it is wealth, do not merely picture money. Imagine the sensation of crisp notes in your hand, the sound of coins spilling across a table, the fragrance of leather from a new wallet. If it is love, see the eyes of your partner, hear their laughter, feel the warmth of their touch. If it is health, picture yourself running, lungs full of clean air, your body vibrant with energy. The more vivid the image, the more undeniable it becomes. The pulse of visualization comes from repetition. One image, one night may stir the subconscious, but repeated nightly, it becomes irresistible. Each session strengthens the command until the subconscious not only accepts the vision but demands it be built. It begins arranging circumstances, shifting probabilities, weaving coincidences until what you saw behind closed eyes appears before your open ones. Yet there is another secret. Visualization must be performed not as longing, but as command. Many imagine their desires with a feeling of lack, whispering silently, "I hope this comes to me." This is not visualization, it is begging cloaked in imagery. True visualization is saturated with certainty. You do not imagine as though it might happen. You imagine as though it already has. You see yourself living the result, walking in it, breathing in it, grateful for it as though it were undeniable fact. This is the difference between weak wish and potent command. The ancients used visualization in temples carved with symbols and painted with images of gods and abundance. They believed that by surrounding themselves with sacred images, they trained the subconscious to see nothing but power and prosperity. Today, you can build such temples within yourself. Your mind is the canvas. Each time you visualize, you are painting the frescoes of your own inner temple. The subconscious worships at this altar, obeying the pictures you have enshrined there. Practice this nightly. As you drift into the threshold of theta, close your eyes and build your world. Do not rush. Allow each detail to unfold. See it until you feel it, and feel it until you believe it. When your body tingles with the joy of the imagined, you have crossed from fantasy into command. The subconscious, compelled by the pulse of visualization, must obey. What you see is what you summon. What you picture with fire becomes your future. See with power, see with certainty. For every vision held long enough becomes the reality in which you will one day awaken. Chapter 10. The Night Seal, Programming Before Sleep. Night is no mere absence of light. It is a sacred passage, a time when the gates of the subconscious swing wide open, receptive and eager to be imprinted. What you feed your mind in the final moments before sleep does not fade into nothingness. It seeps deep into the soil of your subconscious, where it takes root and grows through the long hours of slumber. This is the night seal, the practice of deliberately programming your subconscious before sleep, locking your desires into place where doubt cannot touch them. Most drift into sleep with chaos. They replay failures, arguments, anxieties, planting poisonous seeds in the most fertile time of the day. They fall asleep to the glow of screens, the noise of distractions, never realizing that their subconscious is absorbing every impression. And so they wake to a world that mirrors the confusion they surrendered to at night. But the initiate of the forbidden method does not leave this sacred window to chance. They approach it with reverence, with ritual, sealing their desires into the subconscious like a royal decree. The night seal begins with preparation. As the day ends, create a sanctuary of stillness. Dim the lights, quiet the noise, clear the space around you. Each object in your room should affirm peace and power, for the subconscious absorbs not only words, but symbols. Let your bedroom become a temple, its atmosphere charged with intention. Next, choose the desire you will program. Do not scatter your focus across many things. The subconscious responds most powerfully to singular clarity. Hold the desire in your mind, shaping it into a simple, potent statement. Speak it in the present tense. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am healthy. Let the words carry certainty, as though they describe reality itself. Now, as you lie upon your bed, place your hand upon your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, the pulse of life itself. Breathe deeply, and with each exhale, release the weight of the day. Enter the stillness where thought softens and resistance fades. This is the moment to speak your command. Whisper your affirmation aloud, slowly, deliberately. See the vision of your desire in vivid detail. Feel it as though you are already living it. Allow gratitude to well within you, gratitude not for what will come, but for what already is. This emotional state is the seal. Gratitude is the lock that binds the command into the subconscious. When you say, I am grateful, the subconscious interprets it as proof of reality. Gratitude tells it, this is already true, and so it builds to maintain consistency with that truth. As sleep draws closer, repeat your command 3 times. Let each repetition sink deeper, like waves carrying the same message to the shore of your subconscious. Then release it. Do not cling, do not beg, do not wonder if it will work. The seal is complete when you surrender to trust. Drift into slumber with the certainty that your command is now embedded, unchallenged by doubt, untouched by resistance. Throughout the night as you dream, your subconscious will continue working on the imprint. It will weave it into your neural pathways, align your vibration with it, and set in motion the synchronicities that will bring it into form. The night seal ensures that while your body rests, your destiny is being shaped. The ancients guarded this practice, using it to heal, to summon abundance, to awaken power. They knew that night was the most sacred of all hours, for it was when the conscious mind released its grip and the subconscious reigned supreme. You now hold this knowledge. Each night is a chance to reshape your life. Each sleep is a ritual of creation. Approach it with reverence, and the night seal will become the most powerful tool in your arsenal. Seal your desire in the silence of night and awaken to the dawn of its unfolding. Chapter 11. The Awakening Trigger, Morning Reinforcement. The night carries your desires into the depths of the subconscious, but morning determines how firmly those seeds take root. Upon waking, your mind is not yet cluttered with the noise of the world. The conscious defenses are still soft, the subconscious still humming with the echoes of sleep. This fragile state, often squandered in haste and distraction, is sacred. It is the awakening trigger, the moment when you can reinforce the work done in the night and ignite the subconscious to move with precision throughout your day. Most people wake and immediately surrender their minds to chaos. The blare of an alarm shocks them into fear. Their first thoughts are of what must be done, of obligations waiting, of worries carried over from the day before. They scroll through devices, consuming fragments of other people's realities, allowing their subconscious to absorb images of lack, fear, and comparison. And then they wonder why their lives mirror this confusion. Morning is the hour of creation, but they waste it in unconsciousness. The initiate of the forbidden method does otherwise. They rise with intention, using the moments after waking to reaffirm their commands. Before words are spoken, before distractions intrude, they turn inward. They speak their affirmations not as wishes, but as truths. They visualize their desires as though the day already contains their fulfillment. They feel gratitude for outcomes that have yet to appear, knowing the subconscious interprets gratitude as proof of reality. The awakening trigger is a bridge. You cross from the fertile soil of sleep into the active world of day. If you step across this bridge with clarity, you carry the imprint of your desires into every hour that follows. If you step across it in chaos, you reinforce the doubts and fears that sabotage creation. The choice is yours every morning. Begin the ritual by claiming silence. Do not reach for your device. Do not rush. Remain in the stillness of your bed, eyes half closed, body relaxed. Place your hand upon your heart and take 3 slow breaths. Each inhale summons energy. Each exhale releases yesterday's weight. Then softly and with conviction, repeat your chosen affirmations. Speak them as though you are describing what is already true. I am abundance. I am love. I am power. Feel the truth of the words. Let them echo in the silence. Next, enter visualization. See your day unfolding in harmony with your desires. Picture meetings going well, opportunities appearing, connections forming. See yourself walking with confidence, speaking with clarity, moving with purpose. The subconscious does not distinguish between this rehearsal and reality. It accepts the vision as instruction and begins arranging the day to reflect it. The most powerful reinforcement comes with gratitude. Before leaving your bed, identify 3 things for which you are thankful. Do not choose mechanically. Let the gratitude swell in your chest until it becomes a vibration. Say aloud, "Thank you for this life. Thank you for this day. Thank you for what already belongs to me." In this frequency, your subconscious locks onto abundance, tuning itself to attract more of the same. The awakening trigger is not long. It may take only minutes, yet its effect ripples through the hours like a stone cast into a river. Every thought, every action of your day flows differently when set into motion with deliberate intention. You are no longer reacting to the world. You are commanding it. The ancients rose with the sun, not as slaves to labor, but as participants in creation. They greeted the dawn with chants, movements, and declarations that aligned them with their desires. They knew that morning was not just a beginning, but a throne from which the day could be ruled. You too may sit upon that throne. Each dawn is a coronation. Each sunrise is an invitation to remind your subconscious of who you are and what you command. Do not squander the moment. The awakening trigger is the second seal of the forbidden method. Night plants the seed, but morning waters it. Sleep imprints the command, but morning reinforces it. When you claim these sacred minutes, your subconscious carries the vibration of certainty into everything you touch. The day bends to match the decree with which you began it. Awaken with purpose. Speak with power. The world will answer. Chapter 12. The Energy Signature of Desire. Every desire you hold carries an energy. It is not simply a thought in your mind, but a vibration that radiates from your being, sending ripples into the unseen field around you. The subconscious reads these ripples like a map, translating them into commands. If your energy is conflicted, the command is unclear. If your energy is pure and steady, the subconscious responds with unshakable precision. To master the forbidden method, you must learn to tune your desires into clear frequencies. This is the energy signature of desire. Most people sabotage themselves without knowing it. They say, "I want wealth," but beneath the words lies fear of poverty. They whisper, "I want love," but their chest hums with loneliness. They declare, "I want success," but their energy carries doubt and unworthiness. The subconscious hears not the words, but the vibration beneath them. It listens to the frequency of the desire and obeys that. And so, despite affirmations and visualizations, the results remain scattered because the signature of their desire is muddled with contradiction. Your task is to align the outer form of your command with the inner energy you radiate. When you say, "I am abundant," you must feel abundance in your body. You must breathe as though wealth already flows through you, relax as though every need is met, smile as though life is overflowing. This congruence of word, image, and energy creates a signal so strong that the subconscious cannot deny it. It does not question, it obeys. Think of your subconscious as a vast tuning instrument. If you strike the string of lack, it vibrates lack into your reality. If you strike the string of abundance, it vibrates abundance. Your words are the strike, but your energy is the resonance. Without resonance, the sound fades quickly. With resonance, it continues to hum, shaping the space around it. To cultivate the energy signature of desire, begin by identifying the emotion your fulfilled desire would bring. If you seek love, what is the feeling? Warmth, safety, joy. If you seek wealth, what is the feeling? Freedom, relief, expansion. If you seek health, what is the feeling? Vitality, strength, peace. Once identified, practice summoning this feeling before the desire manifests. This is emotional rehearsal, a sacred act where you embody the result in advance. The subconscious, receiving the vibration, concludes, "This is real," and so it must continue creating reality to match. The ancients spoke of this through symbols. In Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered as a symbol of creation because it carried within itself the power to generate life. They understood that desire, like the scarab, was not external but internal, carried as vibration. In India, sages spoke of rasa, the essence of emotion, as the nectar that nourishes creation. In every culture, the teaching was the same. What you radiate becomes what you receive. Beware, however, of desperation. When you cling too tightly, your energy signature becomes one of lack. The subconscious does not hear, "I want this." It hears, "I do not have this." And so it perpetuates absence. True mastery comes when you release attachment and embody fulfillment now. You walk as though the desire is already yours. You breathe as though nothing is missing. You radiate the energy of completion, and the subconscious bends to make it visible. Each night, as you practice the night seal, and each morning as you engage the awakening trigger, pause to feel the energy signature of your desire. Breathe it into your body, radiate it outward, hold it as your state of being, not merely as a fleeting thought. When your words, images, and energy align, you become a living magnet. The subconscious has no choice but to construct a reality that mirrors the vibration you sustain. This is why some manifest with ease while others struggle. It is not about effort, it is about energy. The universe responds not to begging, not to pleading, but to frequency. Your subconscious is the transmitter, your desire the signal. Tune it well, hold it steady, and reality will sing in harmony with your command. You are the conductor of this symphony. Align your energy, and the world will play your music. Chapter 13. The Law of Non-Resistance, Enforced Manifestation. The subconscious is powerful beyond measure, yet its power flows most freely when it encounters no resistance. Resistance is the silent enemy of manifestation. It hides in doubt, in fear, in the restless questioning of whether your desire will arrive. Every time you grasp too tightly, every time you worry, every time you push against what is, you create friction that slows the process. The law of non-resistance is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the art of stepping aside so the forces you have commanded may move unhindered. Imagine a river. If you place boulders in its path, the current slows, eddies form, turbulence grows. But when the path is clear, the river moves with unstoppable force. So it is with your subconscious. You issue a command, plant a vision, charge it with emotion, then you must release it. To clutch it in constant fear is to place stones in the flow. To release it with trust is to let the current surge forward. This does not mean you stop caring for your desire. It means you stop strangling it with worry. You live as though it is already true. You move with confidence. You speak with gratitude. You act with certainty. Doubt becomes the only thing you resist. The moment you release, the subconscious builds with speed, aligning circumstances that your conscious mind could never orchestrate. The ancients practiced this law by surrender. After rituals, they would declare their command complete and refuse to speak of it again in terms of uncertainty. If asked, they answered with conviction, "It is done." Their refusal to resist became the proof of their power. The world soon mirrored their certainty. To practice non-resistance, speak your command, feel it deeply, then release it into silence. Trust that your subconscious has received it. Trust that reality is already shifting. Act as though the result belongs to you, for in truth, it does. In this state of surrender, manifestation flows without obstruction. The law of non-resistance is simple. Command, release, trust. What you allow moves swiftly. What you grasp delays. The more you trust, the faster the world bends to your will. Chapter 14, The Anchors. Objects as subconscious tools. Objects are not lifeless. They carry memory, energy, and symbolism. To the subconscious, they are anchors, reminders that connect thought to form. When used with intention, physical objects become powerful tools to reinforce your commands, serving as silent allies that keep your subconscious aligned with your desires. Consider a ring, a coin, a stone. To the ordinary eye, they are common things. But to one who understands the forbidden method, they become sacred symbols. A coin beneath your pillow can anchor abundance. A crystal at your bedside can radiate clarity. A candle lit during affirmation can signal the subconscious that creation is underway. These anchors bypass the wandering conscious mind, imprinting truth through association and repetition. The subconscious thrives on symbols. It dreams in imagery, speaks in metaphor, responds to ritual. By placing objects in your environment charged with your intention, you give it constant reminders of your command. Each time you see or touch the anchor, the subconscious recalls the desire and strengthens its imprint. To create an anchor, choose an object that resonates with you. Hold it in your hands, breathe deeply, and infuse it with your intention. Speak your command aloud, allowing the energy of your words to pour into the object. Imagine it glowing with your desire, alive with its frequency. Then place it where you will encounter it often, beneath your pillow, on your desk, around your neck. Each interaction becomes a silent reaffirmation, a whisper to your subconscious. It is done. The ancients knew this well. Talismans, amulets, sacred carvings, all were more than decoration. They were tools of subconscious alignment. A warrior carried a stone etched with symbols, not for ornament, but to anchor courage into his being. A healer placed charms upon patients to anchor belief in recovery. Anchors bridge the seen and unseen, the physical and the mental. Surround yourself with them. Let your space become a temple filled with reminders of your sovereignty. Each anchor speaks silently to the subconscious, reinforcing your command until it becomes reality. Objects are not mere things. They are extensions of your will. With anchors in place, your desires are never forgotten, never doubted, always alive within your subconscious. Chapter 15. Dream work as direct orders to reality. Dreams are not idle fantasies. They are living theaters where your subconscious reveals its workings and receives your instructions. When you close your eyes each night, you do not step into nothingness. You step into the workshop of the subconscious, a space where symbols become clay and visions take form before descending into waking reality. Those who ignore their dreams ignore the most direct channel to the architect itself. Those who master dream work discover that every dream can serve as a command, every image as a decree, every scene as a message written in the language of creation. Most people wander through dreams unaware. They forget them upon waking, dismiss them as nonsense, never realizing that their subconscious is speaking in vivid detail. The subconscious rarely communicates in words. It prefers images, symbols, metaphors woven into story. A locked door may represent a blocked path. A soaring flight may symbolize freedom waiting to be claimed. When you begin to pay attention, to honor these images, you open a dialogue with the very force shaping your destiny. But dream work is not only interpretation, it is direction. You can enter sleep with intention, seeding your subconscious with questions, desires, or commands. The ancients practiced this as dream incubation. Before resting, they would write or speak their inquiry. Show me the path to wealth. Reveal the truth of this relationship. Bring me the feeling of my success. They trusted the subconscious to respond, and it did, sometimes through dreams filled with clarity, sometimes through symbols, sometimes through a knowing upon waking that felt undeniable. You may do the same. Each night, before surrendering to slumber, quiet your mind and hold a single clear command. Do not scatter your request across many topics. Focus. Say to your subconscious, "Tonight I see myself living my desire," or "Show me the steps to achieve my command." Breathe deeply. Visualize your intention as you fall asleep and release it into the dream realm. There, your subconscious will not only process but begin to rehearse the reality you seek. When you awaken, record everything. Place a journal by your bed and write the fragments, images, and feelings before they slip away. Even if they seem strange, capture them. Over time, patterns will emerge. You will see recurring symbols, repeated scenes, whispers from your subconscious guiding you toward alignment. This is dream work, learning to read the map that your inner architect draws each night. More powerful still is lucid dreaming, where you become aware within the dream. Here you are not only an observer, but a participant. You can speak commands directly, practice living your desires, rehearse your future with such vividness that the subconscious accepts it as already true. Every experience in a lucid dream imprints the same neural pathways as waking life. To practice success in dreams is to encode it into your very being, preparing your reality to follow. Dreams are not escape, they are rehearsal, they are instruction, they are direct orders spoken in the native tongue of the subconscious. Treat them with reverence, use them as tools, and know this: every dream you honor becomes another step toward shaping your waking world. Chapter 16: The Quantum Corridor of Infinite Choices. You live not in a single timeline, but in a vast web of possibilities. Every decision, every thought, every belief splits reality into countless streams, each carrying a different version of you forward. The subconscious, when commanded with clarity, has the power to move you between these streams. It is the navigator of the quantum corridor, the infinite hall of choices where every potential already exists. To force manifestation is to step deliberately into the timeline where your desire is already true. Most believe life is linear, that they move from past to present to future in a straight path. But the subconscious knows otherwise. It experiences memory, imagination, and reality as one continuous fabric. It can reach backward to alter the weight of past events, and it can reach forward to pull wisdom from futures not yet lived. Within the quantum corridor, time is not a wall but a mirror. Each reflection shows a different possibility, and whichever you focus upon with conviction becomes the one you live. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not creating wealth from nothing. You are aligning with the version of you in another stream who already lives in abundance. When you declare, "I am loved," you are stepping into the reflection where love surrounds you fully. Each command given to the subconscious acts as a key, shifting you into the corridor that matches your words and energy. To use this consciously, you must first imagine the quantum corridor itself. Before sleep, close your eyes and picture a hallway stretching infinitely in both directions. Along its walls are doors, each leading to a different version of your life. Behind one door, you are successful. Behind another, you are struggling. Behind another, you are healed, powerful, radiant. All versions exist simultaneously, waiting for your choice. Now hold your desire clearly. See yourself walking to the door that matches it. Place your hand on the handle. Feel the energy pulsing behind it. When you open it, step through fully. Do not hesitate. See yourself merging with the version of you who already lives your command. Feel their confidence, their joy, their certainty as your own. Say to yourself, "This is me. This is my life now." Drift into sleep holding this vision, and your subconscious will guide you into that timeline. The subconscious does not struggle to shift realities. It does so naturally, for it already exists beyond the limits of linear time. Your task is not to create possibility, but to choose it. When your words, feelings, and images align, the subconscious moves you seamlessly into the corridor that matches. Synchronicities appear, opportunities unfold, people arrive, all signs that you have stepped into a new stream. The quantum corridor is vast. All lives exist. All outcomes are possible. Your subconscious is the navigator, your command the compass. Speak with clarity, choose with certainty, and step boldly into the version of reality you wish to live. For in truth, it already exists. You need only claim it. Chapter 17, The Forbidden Rewrite, Altering Your Past to Shape the Now. Time is not as rigid as you were taught. The past does not sit locked behind you like stone. It breathes, it bends, it echoes into the present through memory and meaning. Your subconscious does not hold the past as history. It holds it as energy, as impressions, as emotional blueprints. What you believe happened continues to dictate who you are, how you act, and what you create. And because your subconscious obeys these impressions without question, your present reality is shaped by them again and again. But here lies the secret. You can rewrite the past. This is the forbidden rewrite, the art of altering the meaning of what has already been lived, so that your subconscious releases its grip and builds a new present. The events themselves cannot be undone, but their imprint can. A wound does not heal because it is remembered. It heals because it is reinterpreted. When you shift the emotional charge of a memory, you rewrite the script your subconscious has been following. And as the script changes, so too does your present. Consider a child scolded for speaking up, who grew into an adult afraid of sharing ideas. The event itself is gone, yet the subconscious replays it as if it were still happening. Every meeting, every conversation is colored by the same fear. Now imagine that adult lying in bed, entering the twilight state, and deliberately replaying the memory. But this time, instead of shame, they imagine encouragement. They see the parent smile, hear the words, "Your voice matters." They feel pride swelling in their chest. This rewrite imprints a new reality, and the subconscious, unable to distinguish between memory and imagination, begins to act as though the new version were always true. The present shifts because the past has been rewritten. You have moments like this stored within you, memories still humming with pain, disappointment, rejection. They act as anchors, keeping you tied to versions of yourself you have long outgrown. To free yourself, you must step back into those moments, not as victim, but as master. You must re-enter them with the authority of the forbidden method and declare them rewritten. The practice is simple but profound. Choose one memory that still holds power over you. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to drift into the memory. See it vividly. Feel it as though it is happening again. Then, with deliberate intention, change it. Replace the harsh word with encouragement. Replace the failure with triumph. Replace the rejection with love. Do not merely watch. Feel the new version in your body until it resonates with truth. Then speak aloud. This is the memory I keep. This is the truth I live. At first, your conscious mind may resist, insisting the change is false. But your subconscious does not care for facts. It cares for impressions. Repeat the rewrite until the old emotion fades and the new one takes root. Over time, the subconscious accepts the rewritten memory as the one it follows, and your present reality begins to reflect the new script. The ancients hinted at this practice through rituals of rebirth. In some temples, initiates would be submerged in water and emerge clothed in new garments, symbolizing that their past had been washed away and rewritten. They understood what modern science now confirms. Memory is not fixed. It is reconstructed each time it is recalled. By changing the reconstruction, you change the programming. Do not underestimate this power. To rewrite your past is to liberate yourself from chains, invisible but binding. Each time you alter a memory, you reclaim a piece of your power that was stolen by fear, shame, or failure. Each rewrite removes resistance, clears the soil, and allows your present commands to flourish without contradiction. You are not the prisoner of your past. You are its author, and you may rewrite it at will. The subconscious will believe the story you give it, and reality will bend to match. This is the forbidden rewrite. This is freedom.
Chapter 18, The Alignment of Body, Breath, and Will.
Your subconscious is not only mind, it is body, it is breath. It is the silent rhythm pulsing through every heartbeat, every inhalation, every movement. To command it fully, you must not speak only in thoughts and words. You must align the entire vessel. When body, breath, and will move as one, the subconscious listens with a clarity that no resistance can deny. Think of the times you felt divided. You spoke affirmations, but your body slumped in defeat. You visualized abundance while your chest tightened with anxiety. You declared love while your breath trembled with loneliness. These contradictions confuse the subconscious. It hears not only your words, but the posture of your body, the rhythm of your breath, the conviction of your will. If they do not agree, the command is weak. But when they align, the signal is irresistible. The ancients knew this and crafted practices to unite the three. Yogis synchronized breath with mantra, each inhalation a declaration, each exhalation a release. Warriors stood tall, spines straight, bodies grounded, speaking commands with voices that shook the air. Priests raised their arms, lifted their chests, breathed deeply, and declared blessings that carried the force of heaven. None of these were empty rituals. They were acts of alignment, tuning body, breath, and will into a single frequency that the subconscious could not ignore. Begin with the body. Stand or sit tall. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders, let your posture declare confidence. The subconscious reads posture as evidence. When you stand as sovereign, it believes you are sovereign. When you slump, it believes you are defeated. Shape your body to match your command, and your subconscious will follow. Then align the breath. Slow it, deepen it. Inhale as though drawing in power. Exhale as though releasing doubt. Breath is the bridge between conscious and subconscious. It carries signals of safety or danger, strength or weakness. When you breathe with calm power, your subconscious accepts that you are secure, capable, and ready to receive. Finally, unite the will. Speak your command with focus, not scattered by distraction, not diluted by hesitation. Let your words ride upon the breath, carried by the posture of your body. Say them as though the entire universe leans in to listen. Feel your will pulse through your chest, your arms, your very skin. In this moment, you are not hoping, you are declaring. The subconscious registers the alignment and responds with absolute obedience. The practice can be ritualized. Each morning, stand before the mirror, feet grounded, spine tall. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, then speak your affirmations. Watch yourself speak them with posture of power, breath of strength, will of certainty. Notice how the words feel different when body and breath join the declaration. Notice how conviction deepens. This is alignment. This is command. In time, alignment becomes natural. You will catch yourself standing taller, breathing fuller, speaking with more authority. Your subconscious will carry these signals into every moment, constructing reality that matches your embodied truth. You will no longer issue commands only in thought. You will issue them with your whole being. The ancients described this state as embodiment, the living union of inner intention and outer expression. To embody a command is to give it life beyond words, to animate it in flesh and breath. The subconscious cannot resist embodiment. It obeys it instantly, for it recognizes it as truth. Align body, breath, and will, and you become the living command. You no longer speak to the subconscious as something separate. You demonstrate the reality it must build. And it, loyal as ever, constructs the world to match the vessel you have become. Chapter 19. The Master's Test, Guarding Against Misuse. Every sacred power carries with it a shadow. The same flame that warms the home can consume it. The same river that nourishes the land can flood and destroy it. The forbidden method is no different. It holds within it the ability to bend reality, to summon love, wealth, health, and power, but also to twist these forces into obsession, greed, and destruction. The subconscious is impartial. It does not weigh morality. It obeys the impression it is given. And so the true initiate must face the master's test, the call to guard against misuse. There will come a moment when the power of your subconscious feels intoxicating. You will declare and life will respond. Doors will open, opportunities will fall at your feet, synchronicities will arrive in cascades. You will realize that what once seemed impossible is now pliable in your hands. And here, in this exaltation, the test begins. For temptation will whisper to you to use the method for harm, for manipulation, for selfishness without wisdom. The ego, newly emboldened, may try to seize the throne meant for the higher self. Guarding against misuse begins with remembering the law of reflection. Whatever you impress upon your subconscious not only creates outward reality, but shapes who you are. If you command from greed, your subconscious builds greed into your very being. If you command from fear, it anchors fear in your soul. And if you command from love, gratitude, and wisdom, it ingrains those qualities within you as well. The world you create is the mirror of the self you become. This is why the ancients bound the teachings with vows, why they tested initiates with trials of humility before revealing the secrets. They knew that power in unpurified hands corrupts swiftly. The master's test is not one you take once, it is daily. Each time you declare, you must ask yourself, does this command serve my highest self? Does it align with love, with truth, with expansion? Or does it spring from fear, envy, or domination? The subconscious will obey either way, but the consequences will be vastly different. Commands rooted in shadow often manifest quickly, but unravel painfully. Commands rooted in light may build more slowly, but endure eternally. To strengthen yourself against misuse, practice self-examination. Before sealing your nightly command, sit quietly and feel into your desire. Ask, if this manifests, who will I become? If the answer is small, vindictive, or rooted in lack, release it. If the answer is expansive, radiant, and rooted in love, proceed. This discipline is the mark of the true master. The ancients placed guardians at temple gates not to keep others out, but to remind the initiate of the inner guardians they must cultivate. Discernment, humility, integrity. Your subconscious is a temple. Guard its gates fiercely. Do not allow every fleeting impulse to enter. Do not permit bitterness or envy to take the throne. Only let pass those desires that lift you higher, that expand your spirit, that bless the world as they bless you. This test is the reason the method was forbidden. Without guidance, many would use it unconsciously, creating misery while believing they were chasing joy. But you, standing now at this threshold, are called to rise above. You are called to remember that you are not merely a creator of things, you are a creator of self. And every command you give shapes not only your world, but your soul. Pass the master's test, and you step into true sovereignty. Fail it, and the very power you sought becomes the chain that binds you. The choice is yours, always. Speak with wisdom. Command with love. Guard the temple of your subconscious, and your power will never turn against you. Chapter 20. The Final Key. Becoming the author of all that is. You have traveled far. You have entered the hidden gate, spoken the forbidden words, planted seeds in night, and sealed them in dawn. You have learned to visualize with fire, to command with certainty, to align body, breath, and will. You have walked the corridors of infinite choice, rewritten your past, and anchored your future in symbols of power. And now you stand before the final key, the truth that surpasses all techniques. You are not merely the user of the method, you are the author of all that is. The subconscious is vast, but even it is not the ultimate power. It is the bridge. It is the faithful architect. It is the servant that builds tirelessly, but behind it, beyond it, is you, the infinite awareness, the dreamer in whom all dreams arise. You are the consciousness that commands the subconscious. You are the presence that gives orders to the architect. Without you, there is no blueprint, no vision, no seed to plant. The final key is this recognition. You are not just working with a tool. You are the source of creation itself. When you understand this, the dynamic shifts. No longer do you see the method as something external, as a secret you apply. You see it as your own nature, the act of commanding, the act of imprinting, the act of manifesting. They are not techniques you use, but expressions of what you are. Creation is not something you do, it is something you are always doing. The final key is not about learning, it is about remembering. To become the author is to take full responsibility. Every reality you have lived, every circumstance, every triumph, every sorrow was written by you, consciously or unconsciously. The subconscious obeyed faithfully, constructing what you impressed upon it. Now awakened, you recognize the pen was in your hand all along. You no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" You ask, "What did I write into being?" And more importantly, "What will I write now?" This recognition is liberation. No one else holds the pen. No fate decrees your story. No external force governs your script. You are the author. The subconscious is the page. Reality is the book, and the chapters unfold according to your will. The ancients hinted at this truth in their most guarded teachings. They spoke of the Logos, the word through which worlds were made. They taught that the divine spark within man was not a fragment but the whole, that the creator of universes lived through you as you. This truth was too vast, too dangerous for common ears. It was reserved for those who had walked the path, who had proven themselves ready to hold such responsibility. You now hold it. The final key does not mean abandoning the practices you have learned. It means transcending them. You still visualize, affirm, align, and dream. But now you know you are not borrowing a method. You are wielding your nature. Every word you speak is creation. Every thought you hold is law. Every emotion you embody is blueprint. You are always writing. The only choice is whether you will write unconsciously, scattering commands carelessly, or consciously, crafting your life with precision and love. To live as author is to live awake. You no longer see life as happening to you. You see it as happening through you. You no longer separate inner and outer. They are one fabric, woven by your own hand. You walk as sovereign, not because of a technique, but because you know the truth. You are the dreamer, and reality is your dream. This is the final key. It cannot be given. It can only be realized. And once realized, nothing can take it from you. You are not apprentice, not initiate, not even master. You are author, and your story begins anew with every breath.